Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with part 22 of our MotoGP 24 Let's Play. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Grand Prix of Thailand. Yes, we have officially raced on every single track that this game has to offer, of course. If you remember right back at the start of this game, we had like a 3-round preview at the end of last season. We've made it all the way back there. We're back, yeah. I think it's at Bram this weekend. I might be getting the name wrong completely. If you missed out on the video that went live, I think it was late last week from the Phillip Island Grand Prix of Australia, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. One of the most dramatic races we've ever had so far in this series. I'm going to try and keep this series at least twice a week. That's the goal now. Probably Tuesdays and like a Friday or a Saturday later on in the week. So if that sounds good to you, please do make sure you get yourself subscribed to the channel. We're closing in on 3,000 subs at the moment. And also, for those of you that love F1 Manager, we are hopefully going to be going live tonight with round 2 of the Ferrari career mode as well there. So that should hopefully be a lot of good fun as well. Taking a look at the standings, Forosato now has got one hand on the trophy. He needs to score just 7 points from the final 3 rounds of the campaign, and he will be world champion over Joel Esteban. Tatsuki Suzuki, not too many points actually behind the Spanish rider there, and we're hoping that, I mean, at the moment we're looking pretty safe in P4. I would like to get to Suzuki, but I think it's going to be a tall order before the end of the year there. 5 points in it in Moto2 between Agura and Vietti, and then in MotoGP 3 points in it between Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi as well there. So lots of fights still up and down the other championships. I've only just noticed, I mean I already knew, but I've just realised how many Spanish riders there are in MotoGP as well. Alex Marquez all the way down in P21 right now. So yeah, really has not been a season for him to remember. But yeah, as we return though this weekend to Thailand, I'm intrigued to see how much quicker, hopefully, we're going to be than we were this time last year.
Welcome to Thailand's Chang circuit. Here we are again from the circuit where the second practice session is about to begin. The session will be important both to test the race pace and to book a place in Q2.
Well, I'm still not entirely sure how contract negotiations will work ready for next season. You know, whether we've got to have a deal signed before the end of the campaign, whether we have to wait for like a winter break, and then obviously we can try and sign with a new organisation. I feel now that I'm prepared and ready for Moto2, but obviously we'll have to wait and see whether any of those Moto2 teams feel the same way. But yeah, Thailand, I think this is one of, if not the simplest track on the calendar. It is up there with the Indonesian circuit that we raced a few rounds ago. Yeah, not that many corners. Most of them are pretty straightforward as well. So hopefully, again, we can have another solid weekend. Well, getting some early laps then under our belt here. I must admit, you know, now we have done effectively a full season on this game, I'm genuinely quite surprised by how many of you have really enjoyed this game so far and have enjoyed us playing it. I've had so much fun with it, genuinely. Like, I do honestly want to try and get all the way up and win MotoGP. Admittedly, if we've got enough time before MotoGP 25 comes out. But honestly, this might be a game that I find myself, or these games, I might find myself playing into the future as well, though, which would be really, really good fun. You know, they're just a bit different from the F1 games, you know, where you've got this proper kind of from the bottom as well. That road to glory style that you can do is very, very good fun as well. Maybe at some point I'll have to try and play some classic MotoGP titles as well. But yeah, massive thank you to everybody. Clearly you guys like watching me falling off of these bikes still all the time, because I'm still far from a particularly good rider. I'm sure I wouldn't have realised this last season anyway, but yeah, so far the AI, this has definitely been one of their stronger tracks on the calendar. Just trying to find a little bit more pace as the session unfolds. We go up into P4, but Joel Esteban, I mean, his championship hopes are basically non-existent anymore. But he's not given up on it. Some very quick lap times coming on early on. But as long as we're within about half a second of Joel Esteban here, I think we'll be pretty happy with our practice effort. A little bit wide out of the final corner. We go half a tenth away. So yeah, I think that should hopefully be enough to see us straight into Q2. Yeah, Esteban, the Spaniard, looking very, very racy here. There we go then. We certainly aren't the fastest rider at the moment, but weirdly, yeah, we don't see this often. The Q2 time actually quicker than the practice 1 time there. P8 for us, though. Still floating about half a second away, but is David Alonso suddenly coming good at the end of the first year? Oh, we've got soft tyres now, both on the front and the rear of the bike as we head out into qualifying then. Hopefully now we're going to be able to try and get this right into the 143s. I would expect to sort of see top times, you know, a mid to high 43 here, maybe like a 43.5 or something like that. So that is way too late down at turn 1. Did not get that turned in, but luckily the lap won't get invalidated. We are trying to hang this thing on the absolute limit on our first lap, trying to work out just how much grip these tyres have got available to us. And obviously where we need to be positioning this thing as well. It is quite nice as well on this game. You know, the grip conditions can change between sessions and things like that. So sometimes obviously you'll go out in qualifying and have more grip than you did in free practice. Other times though it can work the other way and you really struggle. As all Tatsuki Suzuki going for a tumble. I don't believe riders can ever end up out in these qualifying sessions. I just believe every single time they can keep going. There's one more corner to go then. Braking nice and tidy just after that white line. Get it in, lent over that apex as well. Nice and easy on the throttle on the exit. It is going to be a 144.4. Quicker than we managed throughout free practice, and that includes the mistake at turn 1. I don't think I really realised this last season either here, because like I said, I was so new to the game. But this is genuinely a fantastic circuit as well for these bikes. You're absolutely hanging on to the limit. Throwing so many corners on this circuit. It's high speed. It's not very forgiving. But I tell you what, yeah, when you get it nailed, it is really, really good fun. One more corner again then. Oh, plenty of curb on the way in. Hope the bike straightens up on the way out. And we don't improve there. 16 thousandths of a second in it. We're still top of the board. But there's definitely a 43 in it. And there we go. As soon as I say that, Tatsuki Suzuki lowers the benchmark at the top. I'm surprised we haven't seen anybody dip into the 43s yet. But I'm sure it'll happen pretty soon. Or whatever I seem to say in this game. It then appears to happen just a few seconds later. Joel Esteban now to the top of the board and a 143.6 there. That is a tremendous lap time. I'm getting slower and slower, it would appear. Every single lap I do slower than the last. So we need to try and really dig deep and have one last big push. Come on, this is probably the last lap I'm going to be able to find anything as we make our way through that final turn. Roll on the throttle nice and easy. Are we even going to improve? We go 6 thousandths away. No matter what I do, we cannot seemingly go any quicker than the first lap I did. Got a few more riders now boxing for a fresh set of tyres. Nobody else, though, was within 6/10 of Joel Esteban at the front of the field. I'm not even convinced Rosato made it into Q2. Or maybe the right thing to do would have been to box for a fresh set of tyres. We're finding a little bit more. Track finally seems to be coming back towards us. But everybody else now starting to improve. So again, slightly wide. Don't fall off, thank you. Oh no, there we go. Rosato definitely made it into Q2. Because he's immediately gone even faster than we've seen from Joel Esteban. How on earth are we 1.3 seconds off the pace here, man? We have just got no fight. Come on, we're 3/10 up. This is definitely the last run we're going to be able to do. I don't ever think on this game about to do 15 minutes of just non-stop lapping to try and get anything out of the bike. Final corner, though. Are we going to be able to elevate ourselves back up the order just a little bit? We do finally improve. It's a 144.0. We go back up to P4, and we may as well try and go for one extra lap right at the end. But I think if we improve now, I'm going to be very confused. I mean, how? How on earth does this happen? We spend 15 minutes doing laps, and nothing goes quicker than our first one. We get a breakthrough right towards the end of the session, and immediately it looks like we might find nearly a second over the original lap time we set. At the final corner, another 3/10 improvement.
The results of the second Moto3 qualifying session. That's the end of our broadcast for today, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Well, there we go. It is your top two in the championship that will be the top two on the grid. But out of nowhere, we make it onto the front row right at the end of the session there. David Alonso ahead of Suzuki behind me. So hopefully we're going to have a chance to try and pull out some points, or close in some points even, I should say, to the second Japanese rider. But what a weird qualifying session.
Good morning from Gavin Emmett at the Chang International Circuit. We are just on the outskirts of the city of Buriram and ready to bring you the Thai Grand Prix. Just a few more moments and we'll switch to the starting straight for the Moto3 class race. After a long weekend, the race is finally about to start. We're on the starting grid where the engineers are completing their checks before the off. It's overcast and temperatures have dropped. Many riders tried softer compounds during this morning's warm-up, and it seems that the most popular choice on the grid is a medium front and a soft rear.
Well, here we are then down on the track, ready for the third last race of the season. After this, all we've got left is Sepang and then Circuit Ricardo Tormo. We're going to listen to the tyre strategy there. Softs on the fronts, medium on the rear. I just want to get into this. I honestly have no idea what to expect here today. Hello. He wants me to actually go medium then. So I think we'll stick with that. Hopefully we'll have a bit of better race pace.
All the riders are lined up on the starting grid. The countdown begins for the lights to go out. Just a few moments more and the Thai Grand Prix will begin.
Well, Forasato knows he has a chance today to wrap up this World Championship once and for all. There is 10 red lights on the grid. And it is going to be lights out and away we go then down in towards turn 1. Immediately Suzuki actually getting off to a flyer of a start there around the outside of myself and maybe even Joel Esteban down at turn 1. Colin Via trying to have a little bit of a look at the inside. Not able to do anything that time around there. But like I said, you know, Suzuki, Joel Esteban, not really a lot we can do against them now in the championship. But yeah, sorry, Forasato and Esteban, obviously. But I want to try and make sure that we keep beating out Suzuki here. Taking points out of him. I mean, look at this. Straight off the start, to the lead of the Grand Prix he'll go. Tatsuki Suzuki woke up today and decided he wanted to absolutely try and walk this one, at least at the start. So we've got the two Japanese riders then at the front of the field. I mean, Suzuki, he's had the pace to match Forasato so many times this year. Just seemingly has often not quite had the luck. As Forasato there tried to have a look down the inside, but thinks better of it. As we head into the more complicated middle sector there, down the inside of Joel Esteban will try and go. He'll get a little bit wobbly out on the curbing there, but up into the podium places. Nice and early on here. It's important that we settle down into rhythm. So you can still see Forasato trying to challenge for that lead. I tell you what, Forasato then, as he has a look down the inside at the final corner of lap 1, Suzuki will read that and will absolutely switch him there. I mean, he really wants to win this race, doesn't he? For his World Championship, but he has already picked up 2 warnings very early on, so we could see the fireworks out between these two. So Joel Esteban there tries to have a look down the inside of turn 1. He'll get it, but he won't be able to get the run. Maybe he will get the run actually off the corner. Both of us wheel to wheel down in towards turn 2. It is a big long run just as you go through this slight left-hand sweeper. Try and break nice and late there, but I think he might just have pulled this off. Top 4 in the championship, though, building up a little bit of a gap as down the inside will go once again. We'll hang on to P3. Will we? No, of course not. I mean, this is what I do love about MotoGP. It is just non-stop action. Even in these shorter races, you just don't get any kind of let-up. And it is brilliant, brilliant fun as well there as well. Don't want to be out there. I think we'll give up P3 for now. Well, the pace is very, very aggressive then early on between your top 4 at the moment. All of us know there's an opportunity today to potentially try and get a big result for our own championship campaign. But Suzuki, yeah, just still inching away at the front. I'm watching the AI making their way around. There's definitely a few places where we can gain time. But as always, it is just trying to get the lap absolutely nailed. And so far today, that seems to be Suzuki who can do that reliably. Well, Forasato then, I'm trying to count it. I think he's up to 4 of his 5 track limits warnings, so he could end up having to deal with a long lap penalty here before the end of this one. I believe it's down on the outside of turn 2, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we've seen it so many times before on this game where kind of like the AI in front of you are all rapid and then the ones behind are way slower. That seems to be what's happening today, but I'm not letting Esteban get free. Oh, there we go, Forasato. He's picked up a long lap penalty then, and he's got another warning. What is Forasato doing here? He's gone completely mad. Late on this season, we're still on the 1 track limit, but I don't know whether it's every 5 you get a penalty or what the rules are. But Forasato then, he's going to have to take that penalty before the end of the race. I mean, everyone behind Suzuki's got a warning, but not only does he seem to be the quickest rider, he's also the most consistent. Oh, there we go. There we go. Forasato there. It wasn't actually where I thought the long lap penalty would be. He is going to serve that then and try to get back on the road. So we're going to move up then into P3 of this race. But we know we've still got him right behind me. I mean, I don't know why he's taking so much risk. He only needs, like, 7th place here to wrap up the world title, no matter what Joel Esteban does in the final 3 rounds of the campaign. I guess he just really wanted to try and win this one to go out with a bang. I'm just getting a bit annoyed because, yeah, we just don't quite have the same pace as our top 2. I don't know how Suzuki as well has found, like, a second from his best qualifying time. There we go, that's not a bad lap time then, late on in the day. It's taken me all weekend to figure out really how to extract all the pace around this circuit, but we have closed back in on Joel Esteban. We've also opened up a little bit of a gap over Furasato as well. They're a 1:43.0. It's a very, very quick lap time, if I do say so myself. I would love to dip into the 42s, but yeah, I'd much rather get the place instead. Maybe we could do both in one go. But as we are about to start then the last lap of this race, Tayo Furasato 1 lap away from championship glory. It doesn't look like it's going to matter anyway, because Joel Esteban isn't going to win this thing. But yeah, obviously Joel Esteban had to win all 3 races between now and the end of the season if he wanted any chance at Furasato as well there. But Tatsuki Suzuki, he has come to Thailand this weekend and has absolutely dominated the show. I don't know how he's done it. He had no pace in qualifying, a little bit further down the order, but has come into the race and has just absolutely taken this race by storm there. But for Furasato, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit gutted. You know, you always want to win the World Championship with a big result on the day. You might still get a podium, though, by the end of this if I keep riding around like that. And yeah, for us, though, I think we are just trying to cement now our P4 in the championship, especially if Suzuki can have races like this between now and the end of the season. Of course, all of us want to try and make the step up to Formula 2. Not Formula 2, sorry, Moto 2, don't we? And you can tell I still play a lot of the F1 game, can't you, there as well? Just starting to mess up my lines on the final lap as we try to take all of the risk we possibly can there to close up to Joel Esteban. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough today. But I mean, yeah, Suzuki, that lap 1, I mean, really did just set the precedence, didn't it? He came here, he had the confidence, he knew after qualifying he had a bit more pace in that bike, and he has not looked back. I mean, Furasato, we tried to hang close with him, abusing track limits early on, but it is not going to be enough at the end of the day. Down in towards the final corner, it is going to be Suzuki that's going to take the win here in Thailand, but it is going to be Furasato that walks away as your Moto 3 champion through the final corner. For God's sake, man. Of course. Of course. Furasato, have a podium, mate. You're welcome. You've earned it. And we're going to come through for P4.
Moto 3 riders do their cool-down lap. Let's take a look at the final results of the race we've just seen.
Well, what an absolutely stupid ending for myself there. I mean, it doesn't make too much of a difference in the bigger picture, as long as I don't now lose to someone by 3 points in the championship, but still really annoying, you know, when I'm trying to showcase myself to the Moto 2 teams there. Suzuki ahead of Esteban, Furasato, myself with Alonso, Via, Rueda, Holgado, Joel Kelso, and Ivan Ortola will round out your top 10 come the end of the afternoon. Every single rider saw the checkered flag, which has been a while since we saw that as well. They're in terms of the championship, though, a 31-point lead now ahead of Rueda. There's actually quite a good battle going on behind me as the gap between Esteban and Suzuki cut down to 12 points. But there we are, official confirmation. Tayo Furasato, your Moto 3 champion for 2024. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when we return for the season, for the penultimate round of the season, ready from Malaysia.